We all think we're pretty savvy online, right? You know how to spot a safe website. But what if the one signal we all rely on isn't just a little off, but is actually dangerously misleading? Today, we're going to dive into a massive problem with trust on the internet and a really powerful, simple solution that could fix it.
Okay, you see this little padlock in your browser bar constantly? It's become the universal sign for everything's cool here, that a site is secure, it's trustworthy. We've all been trained, like literally trained, to look for that little icon before we dare type in a password or a credit card. But is that what it really means?
Nope, not even close. That padlock tells you absolutely nothing about who's on the other end of the line. All it means is that your data is scrambled on its way there. Think of it like a soundproof room. It's great that your conversation is private, but you could be in that room having a very secure chat with a world-class scammer.
And this basic misunderstanding, it's created this huge trust illusion online, a massive gap that fraudsters exploit every single day. So let's break down why this is such a critical problem, especially for those who need clear signals the most.
So here's the crucial difference. On one side, you've got connection security. That's our padlock. It's like sending a letter in a sealed, tamper-proof envelope. Super important. But on the other side is entity trust, and that's what we desperately need. That's the part that verifies if the address on the envelope is your actual bank or just a P.O. box set up by a fraudster. We've got the first part down, but we are completely, utterly missing a clear signal for the second.
So how did we even get here? Well, the old-school tools for checking who owned a website, things like Whois, are pretty much broken now. They're either out of date or totally private. At the same time, the whole online economy became obsessed with verifying you, the user, KYC or Know Your Customer. But what about KYB, Know Your Business? That part's been almost totally ignored. This leaves a giant hole that puts everyone at risk. But just imagine you rely on a screen reader. You need a clear, non-visual, machine-readable signal that you're on your real bank's site, not a perfect clone. Right now, that just doesn't exist.
Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a big one. How in the world do we fix it? Well, there's a new idea taking shape, one designed to solve this from the ground up, by creating that missing trust signal we've been talking about.
It's called SWOT, which stands for Simplified Web of Trust, and the idea behind it is just so elegant. Instead of trying to build some massive new thing, it just uses the internet's existing address book, the Domain Name System or DNS. SWOT simply adds a layer of verifiable identity for businesses right into that system. It's not reinventing the wheel, it's just adding a kind of digital business license to it, using a tool the internet already uses billions of times a day.
And what's really amazing about SWOT is how it was designed. It's built on a few core ideas that just make sense for everyone. First, accessibility wasn't an afterthought. It was priority number one. It's also built for privacy, which means it verifies the business without tracking you, the individual. And here's the killer feature. It establishes trust before your device ever sends a single byte of data to a website. And on top of all that, it's designed to be global and equitable right from the very beginning.
All right, so let's get into the nuts and bolts. How does this actually work in practice? The whole process is incredibly clever because it just uses the internet's existing plumbing.
Okay, picture this, and it all happens in the blink of an eye. Step 1. A legitimate business publishes its identity info in a special DNS record. Step 2. A trusted auditor verifies that info is real and then publishes their own matching record, kind of like a digital stamp of approval. Step 3. Your device or browser extension quickly checks for both. And Step 4. The verdict. If they match, you're good to go. If they don't, you get a big warning. It's a super fast 4-step handshake. And I'm going to say this again because it's the most important part of this entire idea. This whole check happens before you connect. Your device never even has to say hello to a potentially malicious website. You get the all clear before you even knock on their digital door.
This simple shift is a total game changer. You're moving from reactive security, cleaning up a mess, to proactive security. It absolutely crushes your attack surface because you never connect to the bad guys in the first place. It's a huge win for privacy too. No leaking your IP address or browser details to some shady server. And get this, because it's built on DNS, which is incredibly resilient, this trust signal is still there even if the website itself is down or under attack. How cool is that?
But this is way more than just a security tool. By making trust something that's public, verifiable, and auditable, SWOT could kickstart a whole new digital economy, one that actually rewards legitimate businesses.
And for any business out there, this is the key insight. This isn't just another compliance headache. This flips the script. Verifiable trust becomes a strategic asset, a competitive advantage. It's how you stand out from the noise and prove to your customers that you're the real deal.
You can just imagine how this would play out. What if search engines started using this trust signal in their ranking algorithms? All of a sudden, being a trustworthy business literally helps your SEO. At the same time, you're reducing your own compliance headaches and slashing your risk of fraud. You're turning a cost center into a value generator. That's a massive win.
And the ripple effects go even further. Think about training AI models on data that you know comes from verified, trustworthy sources, or being able to verify every single device on your network, from your smart fridge to critical infrastructure. This kind of verifiable trust could secure online payments, decentralized systems, and even entire global supply chains. The potential is just huge.
So, this is way more than just a cool concept on a whiteboard. There is an actual, practical path to making this a real, fundamental part of how the internet works for all of us.
The journey looks something like this. It starts with drafting the technical blueprints and getting feedback from the developer community. Then you test the waters with pilot programs, probably using browser extensions. The really big step is working with the organizations that build the internet's foundations, groups like the IETF and W3C, to get this built right into our browsers and operating systems so it becomes standard for everyone.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. What would the internet feel like if trust wasn't some flimsy patch we tried to slap on top, but was woven into its very fabric? What if every connection you made began with a simple, verifiable yes, this is who they say they are? It's a powerful idea, and it might just be closer than we think.